So the Halifax real estate market is slowing down, tapering off. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to call it a whole market shift yet, but things are definitely changing. But the big question is, what does this mean for sellers? Now, it's definitely still a seller's market, but it just is not where it was 3 or 4 months ago. But the big thing is, you really have to make sure that your expectations are in line with reality of the market right now, not the market 3 months ago. So yes, it is still a seller's market. Yes, you're likely still going to get multiple offers driving your listing over asking. And yes, you're still very much in the driver's seat in terms of negotiating power in this market. And to be honest, most of these houses now are still selling where we think they're going to end up. Just the path to get there is a little bit different than it was 3 or 4 months ago in Halifax. But before I get into it any further, if you like this content and you want to see more, please click the like and subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos a week on YouTube about the Halifax market and buyer and seller tips. Also, if you want to book an appointment with me anytime, you can do so on my Calendly link below, whether it's a buyer consultation, a seller consultation, or a call when it's convenient for you. So a few things I want to point out if you're looking to sell your home in Halifax here in the near future is 1, pricing is crucial. It is so important to get the price right now, and it's never been a harder time than to price a home as it is right now in the Halifax real estate market. So for the better part of 2 years, we've been underpricing listings on purpose, trying to generate multiple offer situations for our clients. Now, that might not be in your best interest anymore. It really depends on the neighborhood, and every neighborhood is a little bit different, but depending on what kind of product you have and what neighborhood you're in, you might want to price your home a little bit closer to what you actually think it's worth and what you're willing to accept as an offer rather than underpricing it, because we're just simply not seeing the activity that we were 3 or 4 months ago, or for the better part of the last 2 years for that matter. Now, if you're listing in the current market, you're probably going to see less showings than you did over the last 6 to 12 or 18 months, but the reality is that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sell for less. So you might only get 8, 10, or 12 showings right now and a couple offers, but generally speaking, most properties are still selling where we think they're going to. Maybe just some of those huge outliers we were seeing have now left the table. The reality is when we were seeing 40 or 50 or 60 showings and 20 offers, really only 4 or 5 of those offers were really in the right ballpark anyway. So it really didn't matter to have that many, because 15 of the 20 were irrelevant because they were nowhere near where the sale price actually ended up. So really, it's just a little bit of a different look of how to get there, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to change the result at the end of the day. And although the buyer pool seems to have shrunk a little bit over the last month or so, the reality is that the buyers that are still looking are still very motivated, and they're still very serious buyers. Now, even though there's only a few offers on the table, they're still looking at the same comparables that we're looking at when we list the house, and they're still probably likely to pay what they would have paid before, even if there was 20 offers on the table. And honestly, I think a lot of them are just really excited that they don't have to compete against 20 offers to make that happen. Over the last several weeks, I've seen several listings not get offers on their offer deadline. So, for example, they might list on a Thursday and say they're taking all offers on a Tuesday, but on the Tuesday, they're not getting the offers they want, or maybe they're listing at, for example, $500,000, and maybe they're expecting $575 to $600. But on the offer deadline, they only get a couple offers, and they end up at $525 or $535, $540. Well, they might reject those offers and then increase their price and sit there on the market as if it was the old market that we were used to seeing when houses actually sat around for more than 4 or 5 days. We have been completely spoiled on the seller side of the transaction for the better part of 2 years now, but it had to come to an end at some point. But the thing is, it's not really a big deal for a house to sit on the market for a couple of weeks, and the reality is most of these properties that are having these situations like I just mentioned and having to increase their price to be where they want to be, they're still going to sell within 2, 3, or 4 weeks. So it's not the end of the world, and really they're usually still ending up again where they think they're going to end up. It might just take a little bit more time, and the reality is if the end result is like that and it's what you want with the price you want and the terms you want, you shouldn't really worry about how you get there. For the record, I think we're going to stay in a seller's market for quite some time. I just do not see the market shifting completely back to a balanced or a buyer's market. We have just under a month's worth of inventory right now, so that would need to increase substantially to get back to a balanced market, even let alone a buyer's market. So I do think we're going to hang out here for a while, and the reality is that this market is still great for sellers. It's not as hot as it was a month ago, but it's not the end of the world. If you're thinking about selling in the next few months in HRM, the biggest advice I can give you is get a great agent and listen to their advice and come up with a plan to get to where you want to be at the end of the day, and make sure your expectations are in line with what's happening right now, not what was happening 3 months ago. So if you have a friend at work saying, oh, we just sold our house, and the market is crazy and we got 20 offers, just sold their house might be 2 months ago. So you need to know what the market's doing now. It's forever shifting and it's always moving, and you need to keep up with it, and that's our job as a realtor, to keep you updated on what is happening right now in the Halifax real estate market.